Mistakes that make eggs harmful to your health. Senior health. For the elderly, common mistakes. Hey there, friend. Before we get started, I've got a quick question for you. Where are you listening from today? Are you in sunny Florida, maybe California? Or somewhere chillier, like Michigan or Oregon? Wherever you are, I want to welcome you to today's episode. I'm William Johnson, and this is Lifewell Seniors, where we talk about real health for real people, especially those of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. So let me ask you something a little more personal. Do you eat eggs regularly? Are they part of your breakfast routine, maybe scrambled with toast, boiled with fruit, or fried up next to a couple of sausage links? Have you ever had days where you feel bloated after breakfast? Or maybe your joints feel stiff, or your energy drops off way too early in the day? Here's the thing. I've worked with a lot of older adults over the years, and many of them come to me saying the same thing. I thought eggs were healthy, but I don't feel that great after eating them. And you know what? They're not wrong. But here's what most people miss. It's not the egg that's the issue. It's how we prepare them, what we cook them in, what we eat with them, and how often we repeat the same routine without even realizing it. You see, after 60 our bodies go through subtle changes. Our digestion slows down, our metabolism shifts, and the way we respond to certain fats and proteins becomes more sensitive. So even the healthiest foods like eggs can backfire if we're not paying attention. Now, I want to pause and ask you something. Have you ever felt that way after eating eggs? A little foggy, a little bloated, or just not quite right? If so, tap the number 1 in the comments. If not, hit 2, and feel free to share your favorite way to prepare eggs while you're there. I'm genuinely curious what your mornings look like. Thanks for sharing. It means a lot, and your input helps this become a conversation, not just a podcast. Now, let's be clear, eggs are not the enemy here. They're packed with high-quality protein, choline for your brain, lutein for your eyes, vitamin D, B12 and more. They're one of nature's most efficient foods. But when we use them the wrong way, especially after 60, they can quietly work against us. That's why today we're going to walk through 4 common mistakes people over 60 often make with eggs, and how to fix them. These aren't complicated changes. In fact, they're simple, but they make a big difference. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to share one bonus tip. Most people have never heard something that can actually help your body absorb even more nutrients from eggs. Alright, let's dive into the first mistake. And this one? It starts before the egg even hits your plate. You know what's funny? Most people think the way they cook eggs doesn't matter all that much. I mean, eggs are eggs, right? But here's what I see again and again with my clients over 60. They're cooking their eggs in oils that are quietly causing more harm than good. Let's go into your kitchen for a second. Think about your usual routine. You crack the eggs, you heat the pan, and you reach for, what? Vegetable oil? Maybe canola oil? A spray you've used for years? I'm not here to shame anyone. That used to be my go-to. For a long time too. It's familiar, it's easy. But here's the deal. Many of these everyday oils, especially canola, corn, soybean, are packed with omega-6 fatty acids. And when you're not balancing those out with enough omega-3s, it can lead to chronic inflammation. The kind you don't feel right away, but the kind that builds up over time, quietly, consistently. And as we age, that inflammation shows up differently. For some people, it's joint stiffness. For others, it's brain fog or higher cholesterol numbers. And for a lot of folks, it's just this slow, creeping sense that they're not recovering the way they used to. Now let me tell you about Ruth. She's 67, full of life, a morning person, and she swore by her sunny side eggs cooked in what she called her healthy vegetable oil blend. But after a while, the bloating started. Her knees felt stiff before her morning walk. Her labs showed her LDL creeping up. Her doctor thought she might need to cut back on eggs. She came to me for a second opinion. And what we discovered? It wasn't the eggs. It was the oil. We swapped her over to extra virgin olive oil, low heat only. On the weekends, she tried ghee, which is a clarified butter that holds up better to higher temperatures. And on days she didn't want any oil at all, she poached her eggs. Simple changes. But within weeks, Ruth said something that stuck with me. She said, "I feel like my breakfast stopped fighting me." Let me ask you something. Have you ever cooked your eggs in oils like canola or vegetable spray, thinking it was the better choice? If so, hit the number 1 in the comments. If not, press 2 and feel free to tell me what oil or method you prefer. I always learn something new from you all. Thanks for sharing, truly. When you comment, it helps other folks feel seen. You're not just helping yourself, you're helping someone else watching this too. Now, I want to give you a little more of the why behind this. Research from Harvard found that the average American gets 10 to 15 times more omega-6 than they need, and not enough omega-3 to balance it. That ratio throws the body out of rhythm, raises CRP markers that's a key sign of inflammation, and increases the risk of plaque buildup in the arteries. Now, this doesn't mean fat is the enemy. Far from it. We need fat to absorb nutrients. But it has to be the right kind. And after 60, the body's sensitivity to oxidation, the breakdown of oils under heat, goes way up. So using the right oil, and keeping the heat lower, protects the quality of the meal and your digestion. And you know, I get it. You've been doing it a certain way for years. It's habit. But here's the truth. Changing your oil might be the easiest win you'll have this week. And if you're thinking, well, I'm not sure what to use, here's what I suggest. Start with extra virgin olive oil. It's anti-inflammatory and rich in polyphenols. Just don't crank the heat up high. If you need more heat, use avocado oil or a small dab of ghee. And for a clean, zero-fat option, go with poached or soft-boiled eggs. Still tasty, just easier on the system. Now before we move on, can I ask something small? If this insight so far has been helpful, and you're finding value in it, take just a second to subscribe and turn on that little bell icon. That way, you won't miss the next episode when it drops. Because we're just getting started here, and honestly, the third mistake we'll talk about later in this video, almost everyone I know does it without realizing. And it could be the real reason you're feeling tired, even after what seems like a healthy breakfast. So yes, stick around. Because what's coming could completely change the way you feel in the morning. Alright, let's keep going. Because even if you cook your eggs just right, what you eat them with might still be working against you. Let's talk about that next. So let's say you've switched to a better cooking oil. You're no longer using that old vegetable spray you bought years ago. You're being thoughtful. That's a great step. But let's take a closer look at what else is on your plate, right next to the eggs. Because even if you're cooking them the right way, what you're pairing them with can either support your body or slowly break it down. Now, I want you to picture a typical breakfast. Maybe it looks something like this: 2 eggs fried or scrambled, some toast, maybe a little cheese, and then a couple slices of bacon, or a sausage link, or ham from the deli. Sound familiar? For a lot of folks over 60, that combo is comfort food. It's quick, it's familiar, and hey, it's protein, right? But here's the tricky part. Processed meats like bacon, sausage, ham, even some turkey slices come with a cost. They're packed with sodium nitrates, preservatives, and in many cases, added sugars or fillers. Your body doesn't process well anymore, especially not at this stage of life. And that's not just my opinion. The World Health Organization officially classifies processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, which is the same category as tobacco and asbestos. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, but I do want to be honest. After 60, your system is a little more sensitive. Your blood vessels are more vulnerable. Your insulin response isn't what it used to be. Processed meats raise inflammation. They can spike your blood pressure, throw off your cholesterol, and even reduce circulation to your legs and feet. Let me tell you about Henry. He's 70. Retired firefighter. Tough guy, proud guy. Breakfast was the same every day for 15 years. 2 eggs, 2 sausages, and black coffee. Then one year, things shifted. He started noticing tingling in his feet, heavy legs, fatigue that showed up before lunchtime. He thought it was just getting older, but after a few tests, the doctor saw early signs of plaque buildup in Henry's arteries and mild nerve inflammation, neuropathy, especially in his lower legs. Guess what the doctor told him? It wasn't the eggs. It was the sausage. We swapped the sausage out. Not the flavor, not the warmth, just the source. Now, Henry builds his breakfast a little differently. One day, it's avocado slices with a pinch of salt and lemon. Another day, it's steamed spinach drizzled with olive oil. Sometimes it's grilled tomatoes, lightly seasoned with herbs. And Henry? He's back on his feet. More energy. No more foot tingling. Even his meds got adjusted down. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever paired eggs with sausage or bacon and thought, well, that's just breakfast? If yes, press 1 in the comments. If you've already made a change, or if you think this is something you'd like to try, hit 2, and let me know what you've replaced it with. And hey, if you just realized this might be something worth changing, you're doing great. No shame here. This is about awareness. About having options. And that's why I'm here. Let me just say I appreciate you sticking with me. We're over halfway through this episode now, and if you're still listening, you're someone who values real knowledge. the kind that builds your health from the inside out. So if you haven't already, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you'll never miss a single tip that can make your life easier, healthier, more energized. And trust me, you'll want to catch what's coming next. Because there's one more habit I see all the time, and it fools even the most health-conscious seniors. It's not what's on your plate, it's how often you repeat it. We'll get into that next. But first, take a breath. Let that all settle in. And remember, your breakfast can still be comforting, without being harmful. You've got choices. Let's make the next one count. Now, here's a question I ask my clients all the time, and I'm going to ask you too. Do you eat your eggs the same way every day? Be honest. Scrambled with toast? Boiled with a banana? A couple of fried eggs next to a muffin? Same plate. Same time. Same everything. It's okay if you do. You're not alone. Most people, especially in their 60s and 70s, like routine. It's predictable. It's comforting. It makes mornings feel easier. But here's what I want you to know. When it comes to nutrition, repetition isn't always your friend. Especially when that routine lacks the color, fiber, and variety your body really needs as it ages. See, the issue isn't that you're eating eggs. It's that you might be crowding out other important nutrients by always eating them the same way. Let me tell you about Gloria. She's 72, lively, sharp, and absolutely loves her crossword puzzles. But for months, her breakfast never changed. 2 scrambled eggs on white toast with a dab of butter. That's it. No fruit. No veggies. No fiber. At first, it felt fine. Easy. Familiar. But over time, she started feeling sluggish. Her digestion slowed. She was constipated more often. And her cholesterol started creeping up, even though her diet seemed healthy. She came to me and said, "William, the first don't get it. I'm not eating junk. Why do I feel this way?" So we looked at her breakfast. And what we found was eye-opening, but also very fixable. She wasn't getting enough micronutrients. No folate. Low B12. Minimal antioxidants. And absolutely no fiber to help move things through. It wasn't the eggs. It was the lack of variety. So we made a plan. Nothing drastic. Just a weekly rotation. Some days she had her eggs boiled, with fresh berries and chia pudding on the side. Other days she made veggie omelets, spinach, mushrooms, cherry tomatoes. And twice a week, she baked mini egg muffins ahead of time with bell peppers, onions, even a little turmeric. You know what happened? Her energy came back. Her digestion? Smooth. Her labs? Improved. And she said something that made me smile. She said, "I didn't realize breakfast could be fun again." Now, I want to ask you, do you eat your eggs the same way most days? If yes, hit 1 in the comments. If you already like to mix things up a bit, hit 2. And if you've got to go to healthy egg combo, drop it in there. I know folks in our community would love the inspiration. Thanks for sharing. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone and give them the nudge to try something new. Here's what I recommend, especially for those of us over 60. Create a 5-day egg plan. Keep it simple. Day 1. Poached eggs with avocado toast. Day 2. Veggie scramble with a small bowl of berries. Day 3. Soft boiled eggs with Greek yogurt and chia. Day 4. Baked egg muffins you can reheat. Day 5. Maybe no eggs at all. Rotate in something like oatmeal with walnuts and cinnamon. You're not cutting eggs out, you're just letting your body access more nutrients from a wider range of foods. And don't forget, fiber plays a huge role here. Eggs don't have any, which means it's up to you to add it from somewhere else. Your gut will thank you. Your cholesterol might even thank you too. And listen, I really appreciate you staying with me this far. I know it's a lot of information, but if you've been nodding along thinking, "That's me," then trust me, you're already doing the hard part. You're paying attention. Stick around just a bit longer, because our next section covers something almost nobody talks about. It's not about what's on your plate, it's what's happening inside your fridge. And believe it or not, it might be the thing that's quietly putting your health at risk. Let's get into that next. Let me ask you something simple. Where do you keep your eggs in the fridge? Take a second and picture it. Are they tucked into the door? Maybe in a little slot made just for eggs? Or are they sitting out on the counter, waiting for breakfast tomorrow? Most people don't think twice about egg storage. It's one of those habits we do, without really noticing. But here's the thing. For older adults, how we store our eggs can quietly become a real health risk. Because eggshells? They're porous. That means they absorb odors, moisture, and yes, even bacteria. And if they're left at unstable temperatures like in the fridge door, where it warms up every time you open it, they become more vulnerable to harmful bacteria like salmonella. Now, you might be thinking, oh come on, I've done that for years, and I've been fine. I hear you. But I want to tell you about George. George is 74, lives on his own, drives himself to the store every week. Sharp guy, always kept things neat. One week, he had a rough go: cramps, nausea, chills. Thought it was a little stomach bug. But when his doctor looked into it, the culprit was something George never saw coming. It was the eggs. Turns out he had stored them in the fridge door, and a few of them had been left out on the counter the day before, while he meal prepped. Just a few hours at room temperature was all it took. His doctor gave him some simple advice, and now I'm passing it on to you. Keep your eggs in their original carton. Store them in the coldest part of your fridge near the back, not the door. And never leave them out for more than 2 hours. If they crack, don't use them. If you're not sure how long they've been sitting out, toss them. Your health is worth more than guessing. Let me check in with you real quick. Have you ever stored your eggs in the fridge door, or left them out for a while, before cooking? If yes, press 1 in the comments. If you've already been careful about storage, press 2. Either way, I'm proud of you for thinking about it. Small changes like this can have a profound effect, especially in later life. Because the truth is, it's not the egg that's the issue. It's the habits around the egg. And those habits, like the oil you use, the food you pair it with, the way you repeat it day after day, and how you store it, they all add up. But here's the good news. They're also completely within your control. Let's take a moment to bring it all together. We talked about cooking eggs in inflammatory oils like canola or spray, and how switching to olive oil, ghee, or poaching can make a huge difference. Pairing eggs with processed meats like bacon or sausage, and how replacing them with avocado, greens, or grilled veggies can reduce inflammation and improve circulation. Eating the same egg dish every day, and how adding variety, fiber, and color can wake your system back up. And finally, storing eggs improperly, and how a small shift in fridge habits can protect your immune system and digestion. Each one of these changes, small on its own, but together, they create a body that works with you, not against you. Now, before we wrap up, let me share one final insight that most folks miss. If you want to improve your nutrient absorption from eggs, especially choline and fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, and E, try pairing your eggs with a small serving of fermented food. That could be a spoonful of sauerkraut, a few sips of kefir, or even a little kimchi on the side. These help nourish your gut, which improves absorption and reduces bloating. It's a small addition, but it creates a ripple effect throughout your system. And with that, you've made it to the end of today's episode. If you're still here, truly, thank you. You've taken the time to care for yourself, to learn something new, and that matters. I'm grateful you let me be a part of that. You know, we've talked a lot today about how we cook eggs, what we eat them with, and where we store them. But there's one more mistake that I'd be remiss not to mention. Because even if you've got the oil right, the pairings balanced, and the routine varied, there's something else that affects how your body responds to eggs after 60. It's when you eat them. See, most people don't think about timing when it comes to food. We talk about what to eat, not when. But for older adults, when you eat certain foods, especially those high in protein and fat, can have a huge impact on how well you digest them, and how they affect your energy for the rest of the day. Here's what I mean. After 60, your digestive rhythm changes. Your metabolism naturally slows. You produce less stomach acid, fewer digestive enzymes, and your gut motility isn't what it used to be. So when you eat a rich, protein-heavy meal like eggs too late in the morning, or worse, skip breakfast altogether, and suddenly eat eggs at noon with no other fuel in your system, it can lead to all kinds of issues. Bloating, reflux, sluggishness. It's not the egg's fault, it's that your body wasn't ready for them. Let me share something I tell my own clients. The best time for older adults to eat eggs is within 1 hour of waking up. Why? Because that's when your body is most prepared to digest, absorb, and use nutrients. Morning hours are when your insulin sensitivity is highest, your metabolism is more active, and your digestive system is fresh. Eating earlier also helps regulate blood sugar, supports cognitive clarity, and reduces the risk of afternoon crashes, or that foggy brain feeling some people get. And here's something else. If you're eating eggs later in the day, especially on an empty stomach, your body might struggle to break them down efficiently, leading to gut stress, acid buildup, or even sleep disruption later on. So here's the fix. Eat your eggs within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, and pair them with something gentle and fibrous. Try soft boiled eggs with a small bowl of oats and blueberries. Or a veggie-packed omelet with whole grain toast. Even just a sliced banana on the side can help ease digestion. And please don't skip breakfast altogether. I know intermittent fasting is trendy, but for most seniors, skipping that first meal can throw your energy off track and create more problems than benefits. Your body needs predictable fuel, especially in the morning, especially at this stage of life. So there you have it. Mistake number 5: eating eggs at the wrong time of day isn't as obvious as the others, but it's just as important. And fixing it could be the key to unlocking more energy, better digestion, and a more balanced morning starting tomorrow. Stick with me just a little longer. We're going to pull all this together and make sure you walk away knowing exactly what to do next. If this video helped you, please give it a like and share it with a friend or loved one who's also navigating health after 60. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe and tap that little bell icon so you never miss out on our next video. We've got more to come: real conversations, real strategies, always backed by science and heart. Until then, take good care of yourself. You deserve to feel strong, clear, and well every single day. See you in the next one.